have this little tiny football helmet and I want to try to put it on one of my chickens. You see, I have this one Rhode Island red chicken who's been getting picked on by the rest of the flock. She is the low gal in the pecking order. And so because these other chickens are picking on her, she's lost all the feathers on her head. And I'm also noticing that she's getting a little bruised and banged up. But recently I was looking around online for various chicken and duck related products, and I stumbled across these football helmets, and I figured I'd buy some, not knowing what I'd actually do with them. But now that I have this injured chicken, it seems like the perfect application for this green watermelon football helmet. Or I don't know, maybe it's not a football helmet, maybe it's more like a racing car motorcycle helmet. You tell me, let me know down in the comments. Good morning, Geese!
Hope you have a wonderful day in the pond, in the grass, and the greens. That was a pretty good job there, Abby. But it does look like you got a little bit of egg on you. I don't know how that happened. You can see our bald-headed girl. See how she's getting picked on there? That's no good at all.
Bullying, knock it off.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying she needs like some sort of helmet or protection there. I'm hoping this helps.
Poor little bald girl.
So while the primary goal of this mission is to put this helmet on my chicken, I am gonna give her some veterinary care. I've got actually a poultry wound treatment that I use, as well as a little gauze pad that I need to open up. And I actually wanna pack it inside the helmet here because I'll probably need to change it. This way she doesn't get like an infection of some sort. You know, this helmet is really well designed. You know, it's got like this buckle right here, and it's even got an adjustable size strap, so this should be useful. I got you, sweetie. You know, she's actually not fighting me that hard, which is also not a good sign. You know, she seems actually a little bit weak and listless, so I am a tad worried about her. I'm wondering if she's gotten sick or if she's got some sort of problem and that's what's wrong with her, and that's why the other chickens are picking on her. Because the bullying behavior really only started in the last 2, maybe 3 days max. As I'm looking at her, her wounds don't seem that bad though, so that's a good sign. Okay, sweetie, I'm gonna hit you with some of this spray. Yeah, no, you don't like that. Uh-oh. This is no good. This tiny helmet doesn't even fit her. Sorry, sweetie, I don't even know what I was thinking that this little helmet would fit a regular size adult chicken head. Well, since that's clearly not gonna work, I'm just gonna treat her with that vet spray. I might also come in here a little bit later with a substance known as Blue Coat, which will treat her wound as well as disguise any blood, which would encourage chickens to pick on her even more. You know, chickens are very cannibalistic, and when they see red, they will attack. So I want to try to do my best to keep this gal safe. But that said, just holding her here, I am very worried. She feels exceptionally weak and like there's something wrong, much more than just the bullying she's been experiencing over the last couple of days. You know, the other thing I can do to protect her is actually put this apron on. But as I'm looking at her wounds, they don't seem like they're from rooster damage. It's like, if you look at her back feathers, right, there's no sort of picking on her. Like, I've had this situation with chickens in the past where I had to put a bunch of aprons on my chickens because my roosters were overbrooding my hens. That does not seem like her problem. So I'm just gonna let her go and let her do her thing. And hopefully she goes on the mend. Oh my gosh. While I was working on that chicken, it looks like Ginny got a little aggressive with my medical supplies. Ginny just knocked over this basket and it scared a goose who was nesting right there. And she shot up out of there like a rocket. Yes, you did. No eggs. It looks like she's probably getting ready to lay. You know, pretty soon I'll actually start letting the geese just start laying on their eggs and try to hatch out some eggs. We're getting towards that time of year where that's the necessary activity. All right, you can go back to your nest if you want for now. Ginny, you're just causing all sorts of mischief. Ginny, you're such a troublemaker sometimes. You know that, sweetheart? And by the way, yes, I continue to have problems with my hoop house. I had it completely repaired, then we got another big windstorm last night and actually yesterday afternoon. And by the time I came to do chores to lock everybody up last night, this had started to happen, and I'm not surprised to see it fully cleared out now. I'll have to try to fix this one later today. So you're gonna go back to keeping on your nest there, gal? Bet you I'll see some eggs there later today. Oh, Molly Murder Mittens, you're getting a little curious now too. You know, Molly actually had a medical situation not too long ago as well. I actually noticed her limping around the farm, and when I checked on her, she had a pretty bad cut on the bottom of her left paw. So this paw right here, which she's probably not gonna let me show you her murder mitten. It was not looking good, and so I actually took her to the vet. Vet put her on an antibiotic. I had her inside the house for a few days to heal up. And just the other day, she actually seems like she's healthy enough to go back outside. I will say Molly was a much better house guest than Pablo Barn Cat. She actually did really well hanging out around the house with Lil. You know, despite the fact that she's the fiercest barn cat, and at this point, definitely the biggest killer on the farm, and she tends to bully the other barn cats, especially Pablo and Ginny.
She really wants to make her position known as the alpha cat here. She's actually an exceptionally sweet cat when it comes to people.
And she's got good house manners.
Abby, did you just take that egg out of there? Did you just take that out of there and not eat it? Or was that you? One of these dogs just pulled this goose egg that was actually sitting over here in the mud and muck on the water side of the hoop coop.
And they brought it outside without even so much as scratching it.
You know, it's been well documented that Toby is so incredibly gentle that he will find eggs and bring them to me and not eat them. I was wondering how Abby would be, but so far I think she might be doing well. As you can see on her face, she does like eating egg though.
All right, since the dogs were the one to find this one, and it feels cold, and I don't think I'd feel very good about using this as a hatching egg, we will give it to them as a reward.
Splatter. That way both dogs get to eat some. Aw, it makes me so happy to see the two of you enjoying a treat like that. If you guys are wondering why Abby is wearing her harness,
It's because we're gonna do another episode of Abby Puppy Camp. Yes, just that we are. You know, Abby is turning into an excellent camera dog.
get this turned on. We will check back in with Abby in a little bit.
Release the Kraken! Oh no.
Looks like as we were releasing the quacking, we had some eggs go squacking.
You ducks really like to leave your eggs right up against this door, huh?
Wait, Abby just stole an egg. Abby, no, no. Good girl. Yes, yes. Good girl. Well, that was impressive, Abby. Maybe you are the one who has been also moving eggs around. More treats for both dogs. There, one for Abby dog, one for Toby dog. And there's the always curious chickens that like to watch and maybe grab some of the leftover shell. You're living dangerously, gal. So as you can see, the pond waters are starting to recede. Actually, the main pond is looking great and it's nice and full, but the flooding part of the pasture, sort of the overflow part pond, that seems like it's starting to go away.
Which is totally natural for this time of year. I'm gonna need to start seeding around this area, so putting in more grasses and that sort of thing. As well as I want to try to start adding more aquatic plants to the pond. I still know that this pond is going to drain down as the year goes on or the summer goes on.
I think my ultimate plan needs to be to find a way to get water flowing from either the spring or the creek that we have over there, have it run down into here. Hey, it's celebrity duck who thinks she's a goose, Ron Swanson. How's it going, girl? So big news with Ron Swanson. I've seen her actually mating with some of our drakes, and so she might not be just hanging out with the geese anymore.
Your mustache fell off.
Leslie, you goofball.
Well, yeah, we're definitely in spring mode here. You know, I shouldn't get too cocky. I mean, it's still, according to my watch, it says 28. And so despite the fact that we don't have any snow on the ground really right now, we could easily get walloped by another storm in the next couple of days. For those wondering how our cattle are doing, everybody's good.
You know, our two calves, and still only two calves, are really growing.
How's it going, Jimi Hendrix?
Hi, Belinda. They're both getting bigger. Jimmy's getting much bigger. Like, it's interesting to see the difference in size between the male and female calf. You know, their mothers are roughly the same size, and they actually have the same father, but Jimmy is much, much bigger. And then as far as our two expecting mothers to be, they continue to do pretty well, but nothing yet. I don't know. It looks like to me, Annabelle is bagged up, meaning her udders have really filled up with milk, and her lady bits are looking pretty swollen. Those are all signs that she's about ready to calf, but I keep telling you guys that, and so I'm starting to wonder like what's actually gonna happen. I know, you're a big pregnant cranky mama. And then as far as Ariel the Little Mermaid goes, it doesn't seem like her udders are nearly as full. She might be a little further away from actually producing a calf. I'm pretty sure we'll still have two more calves coming here soon.
I mean, quite honestly, to have them wait just a little bit longer, like I said with the weather, because it's all up in the air, isn't a bad thing.
Hello, Pablo Barncott. How are you feeling? Yeah, Pablo's done so much better ever since he moved back outside. He's been much, much happier.
You know, it's so funny to me to see each animal on our farm and how they have a different personality. I mean, like if I just contrast our three barn cats, have three very different personalities.
Did you knock over the basket?
If I think about like Toby and Abby, they have exceptionally different personalities.
Yeah, I'm talking about you two right there. Where Toby is slow and methodical and, you know, very kind. He's also a little shy and reserved, whereas Abby is so super affectionate and energetic and smart.
She's also a little bit of a spitfire, and so it's just fun to see that contrast.
Abby, no! You can't bite back at the geese. No. I know the geese are the instigator, but you have to completely ignore a goose when it messes with you. I think she was just trying to play with her chew, and that goose started to fight with her. There you go.
By the way, I did want to take a moment to just remind you guys, we've got some great new merchandise in our merchandise store. You can see it right down below. We've got hats like the one I'm wearing. We also have limited edition Pablo Barncat t-shirt. The design was actually made by one of our viewers. It's available down below. Check it out. Buying our merch is a great way to support our farm. You geese are getting very vocal inside here.
What's going on? I think they're fighting over nest space. This is actually our oldest gander, Justin Finch Fletchley, and that's one of his gals. I think he's trying to procure this corner, which is like a really popular spot for laying eggs for the geese. The other popular spot that's sort of popped up is in the back corner of this old doghouse that Abby never used.
I actually think what I'm gonna do is turn this room into a nursery in the next week or two. So what I would do is keep a couple of nests and let a couple of geese establish those nests inside of here. And then when they hatch out their young ones, what's great about this room is I can just close off this door. They can spend the first week or two raising them inside of here and keeping them out of trouble and keeping them safe.
Speaking of keeping out of trouble, Abby, what are you doing? Are you trying to get those eggs? You see those eggs in there and you want them? You are full of mischief, girl. That is for dang sure. Let's see what we got for eggs inside of here. Oh, wow, they're double-fisted in here right now.
I'll probably give them just a little bit more time before I start collecting eggs.
Yeah, meanwhile, I still remain very worried about our girl here. She just seems like so low energy and listless. I don't know. Something might not be right. She's not exhibiting any other illness signs, so I'm not quite sure what's up. Like ordinarily, a chicken would be freaking out to have Abby just sort of sniffing around and wandering around here like that. Meanwhile, that chicken is just so chill. Of course, Abby's not quite sure what to do. Usually when she does that with a chicken, they freak out. This one is just sort of chilling out here. We'll have to keep an eye on her, and I'll let you guys know what happens.